My sister-in-law is in love with my husband. I want to uninvite her.
Do it.
Am I the a-hole if I uninvite my 32 female sister-in-law, 30 female, I'll call her Tina, from my baby shower because I think she's in love with my husband?
That's a pretty reasonable reason to uninvite someone from your baby shower.
Yeah, I think so. My husband, 33 male, and I met each other at a ski lodge 9 years ago. I was with my young daughter and a female friend and her child. My husband was with his 2 brothers and 3 sisters and a few friends. There was a singing competition and both of us were set up by our friends to enter it. And sparks flew during our duet and the rest is history.
Dude, that's High School Musical.
By the way, this comes from Apprehensive You 913, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So back to our first meeting. This was the first time that I caught on to my sister-in-law's disturbing behavior. After the singing competition, he and I went to the cafe to chat. His middle sister, Tina, who was adopted at birth, came storming up to us and demanded that he come back to their group. She never looked at me and whined when he shut her down. She ran off crying and apparently took her sister's room key cards and locked them out so that they had to stay with the friends in their room. Fast forward to when we bought a house together. We had a housewarming and invited family and close friends. Tina showed up in a schmexy club outfit. She ignored me the entire time and hung all over my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time. She kept recalling tales of them when they were little and how close they were. She would kiss him on the cheek, hug him, and touched his arm when laughing. He was visibly uncomfortable, so I stepped in. At first, I just thought that she had a crush on him, but the way that she was acting looked like she was the girlfriend and not me. She was going around reminding and telling everyone that he used to say that he never wanted to have kids, but now he's playing daddy to my daughter. One of my friends said that she thought Tina was weird for talking about how hot his modeling photos were when he did print work back in college, and that her favorite photo was of them at the beach in Hawaii during family vacation a few years back. The most bizarre thing she told a few people was that he had never dated a woman of color before, and now all of a sudden he's in love.
What?
It's only bizarre to me because she's biracial, so I don't know why this would bother her. Unless
she wants it to be her.
Yeah, as Opie says, unless she's jealous of me because she wishes she were me.
This is ridiculous. I was supposed to be the woman of color that he dated.
That's crazy.
You're his sister, you freak.
Yeah, that's weird. Then things go south at the end of the night when he gets down on one knee and proposes to me.
Stop.
Oh my gosh, exciting. She started crying and ran into the restroom.
Dude, if I saw that happening and I knew her at all, even if I was part of this family, I'm going in that restroom and I'm saying, girl, that's your brother. Stop being a little freak.
I know you're adopted, so it's not blood, but ew.
Ew.
Gross.
You grew up together, you freak.
Yeah. Adopted from birth, I think it said,
from
too.
birth.
So that's even more so.
You freak.
Their dad went to check on her and then drove her home. I knew exactly why she was upset, but my husband always equated her behavior to jealousy because she never had healthy relationships. After that tantrum, she skipped our wedding, baby shower, our children's birthday parties, and other family events that we attended. I was fine with extending invitations because I knew that she wasn't going to show up. She had some sort of mental breakdown and was in and out of treatment for years. Now, I have to say, I wish nothing but the best for her, and I don't know what kind of issues she's going through, but I don't want her disrupting our peace. I'm currently pregnant and our baby shower is at the end of this month. I'm having it a few months early because I'm at risk for going into labor early like I did with my other 2 children. My mother-in-law called to RSVP and stated that Tina would be riding with them and if it was okay if she brought her new boyfriend. I was surprised because we hadn't seen her in years, but I was apprehensive to agree. Eventually, I did agree and hoped that she resolved whatever caused her so much distress when she was around my family. Well, it took all of 24 hours for her to start her nonsense. She texted my husband paragraphs at 3 a.m. telling him how she felt about our family. First, she went on to say how much she missed them being so close and how I came in and destroyed their close relationship when I barely said 50 words to her in 9 years. She asked him if he was happy with his life because, again, he used to say that he never wanted kids or to get married. She then asked if he thought about her in all this time and if he could meet up with her before the shower and talk alone, face to face. That was the last straw for me. I asked my husband if he knew that she was in love with him, and he just shrugged and said he didn't doubt my theory. Apparently, when she was 11, she asked if they could cuddle and kiss, and he said no.
Dude, we don't know if he told his parents, but if he did and they didn't do anything,
yeah,
or if they noticed any of this behavior and they didn't cut it off, from the get-go.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Like
bad parents. Because this is gross behavior.
Yeah. He admits her behavior since then has always been weird and dramatic, but he didn't pay her much attention because there were many siblings and they all hung out all the time. I asked him if he could uninvite her and this new boyfriend because I think she's going to bring drama to our baby shower. He said that he wants to talk to his parents first to see what kind of state that she's been in. But I know in my gut that she's ready to ruin our day with her theatrics. So am I the a-hole for wanting to uninvite her to the baby shower? An edit for those of you wondering if anything intimate ever happened between them. The answer is no. I'm 100% certain of this. He has a total of 3 adopted siblings, 2 female and 1 male. He says that he sees them as blood-related siblings because the 3 of them were adopted at birth. He's the second youngest, and they're all within 1 to 4 years of each other, so all he knows is them as siblings. He said he chooses to ignore her because she's always been dramatic. He's always worried about her physical safety because she's suffered from depression for as long as he can remember. So he tries to handle things gently. He's not opposed to uninviting her, but he does want to know what his parents think about their mental state and whether she can behave. And second edit, so I keep seeing something about High School Musical. Nice, that's what we were saying. I'm a little too old to have watched that show and movie, but I didn't know about the plot. I changed some details about how we met so this post wouldn't be immediately recognizable, but it's very much, unfortunately, my life right now. My husband is on his way home right now despite having another 3 hours left at work because his phone kept blowing up. He didn't sound good on the phone, but he wouldn't tell me what was wrong. I don't want to call back his mom and other sister to ask what's going on, but I'll try to post an update when hopefully we come to a final solution because I am stressed over this. And we do have an update, but let's dissect all this for a second.
I don't even know. I don't have her over.
Yeah, I think you're definitely not the a-hole for like uninviting her or not inviting her in the first place.
No.
Like, even if it wasn't weird, like, you know, sibling stuff that's going on here, like, she's just dramatic and she causes problems. So if you don't want that drama in your life and at your baby shower, then I think that's fine. Just be like, yo, according to the statistics, you have not been the best, like, guest to any of these events.
And
so
you're in love with my husband. Stop that.
Stop that.
Yeah, no, I think talk to the parents, say, hey, I don't feel comfortable having her there. She's expressed interest in her brother.
Yeah.
Many times.
And the brother doesn't deny it.
Yeah, he's like, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I also think that is an interesting response of him being like, I don't know, I guess Theory's probably
you're right. Yeah.
Like, it feels like he's very hesitant to kind of agree with it, but I also feel like that's understandable because you don't want to be like, yeah, my sibling is attracted to me.
Right. This will probably be my last update since my husband and I decided that we need to be completely removed from sister-in-law's drama/trauma so we can focus on having a healthy pregnancy and family life. I have an appointment with a perinatologist, a high-risk prenatal doc, tomorrow morning that was scheduled weeks ago to check on the baby. Thank you to those who were concerned about me and the baby. So I don't even know where to start. So I apologize if this update seems all over the place. I also have to point out for the person who went through my common history, I switched the numbers, genders, and event details so I wasn't as easily identified in real life. I have a professional license, so if someone recognized me and thought I was being unethical due to the nature of the post, I've avoided certain verbiage because of my job. I could be brought in for a review, which I would much like to avoid. So I'm sorry that I can't be 100% truthful with all of the details. I tried my best to keep the most important information as factual as possible. My husband ran home because Tina blew up his phone, texting and calling. Now, my husband always texts or calls me on his lunch break to check on me, even before the pregnancy, so I knew that something was wrong when he didn't. Since he left Tina on red, she started calling and sending a slew of unwarranted and degrading texts about me and our children. So basically, Tina being Tina. He didn't run it by me, but he sent her a long paragraph, which he showed me when he got home, basically telling her off and told her that he would have rather never speak to her again than listen to her talk bad about our family. He told her that she would never be invited to any of our family functions and that she needed to check herself back into the hospital if she thought that their sibling relationship was ever closer than it actually was. Wow.
Dang, good on him.
Yeah. He closed it by saying that he would let the family know the reason she was uninvited and that he hoped that she's either seeing a therapist or would find one immediately. I'm not surprised at his response because the things that she said pushed him to that breaking point. I think the worst thing that she said was that my 2 miscarriages years ago, which would have been our first child together was caused because we don't actually belong together and that my body couldn't even carry any of my children to term, which was 32 and 30 weeks deliveries. Oh my gosh. That is
this person
terrible thing.
Has like a mental health issue.
Absolutely.
Clearly. I mean, we already know that she was in, like, this is beyond just like weird. This is like, she's got problems.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I expected her to bring something like this up, but I could tell that it really hurt him, and that's why he didn't hold back from her. He then blocked her and told me that he's changing our phone numbers. He called his parents and the oldest bio sister, whom he is close with, and explained to them why she's never allowed to visit our home. He shared all of their text exchanges, and they were mortified. He asked them not to share our address and when we changed to new numbers. They assured us that none of them shared this information with her because she actually asked for his work schedule and mentioned driving up a day early to surprise him.
No.
Scary.
No.
My father-in-law had the most to say, and I get it. It's his baby girl, but he hadn't shared much info beforehand with anyone else besides his wife. He said that he always knew that she had a little crush on him, but after her outburst at our housewarming years ago, they had a conversation about her behavior, and she told him that she had been keeping a diary about him since she was a teenager. Okay, so the parents did know about this and didn't step in to be like, hey, we're not doing that whole thing in our house.
Failure.
Oh my
Failure.
gosh.
F. If he had a conversation with her and she says,
Yeah, I have a diary about him.
Yeah.
you say, hey, that's not okay.
Yeah.
It's really uncomfy, and you know,
Yeah.
that's your sibling. We don't have those feelings about our siblings.
Right.
You shut it down.
Yeah, because if she was like raised with the idea that this is okay from birth, or just kind of like never was taught differently, then it makes sense why she would not think this is so weird, you know, because we're taught, like, it's kind of like ingrained in our lives that that's not a thing that you do. But anyway, she explained that it was to process her emotions and to challenge negative thoughts. And all I heard was that she wrote about him for years. So there's several journals in their home probably enforcing her beliefs. Apparently, she only stayed away from my husband because my father-in-law kept her in check and was able to get her hospitalized several times for being a threat to herself. I don't know if all of her issues stem from her unrequited love for him. Typing that just made me feel nauseous. He asked that they speak with her about his last text, but that we don't want to know the outcome. He told us that they would deal with her and apologized for thinking that she had resolved her issues. My in-laws are saints, and I thanked them for believing us and keeping her away for all these years. Luckily, she's currently living with them due to her issues, so they're going to speak with her tomorrow morning. The bio sister-in-law called me when we got off the phone with the in-laws. She told me that she was really sorry because she's the one who hooked the new boyfriend and Tina up and suggested that she show him off at the baby shower, but admitted that they had only been dating for like 2 weeks. She said that she sent the texts that Tina sent to my husband to Tina's boyfriend because that's one of the bio sister-in-law's best guy friends, and she wanted to protect him. So I'm pretty sure that they're probably not a thing anymore. I'm kind of nervous how Tina will deal with the 2 rejections so close together. The 2 sisters aren't that close, and she was audibly disgusted to find out that her sister has been pining for their brother all these years. She has a theory though. She thinks that it started with the older bio brother Sean, because when Tina was little, she would follow Sean around all the time. But he's older, so he went off to college abroad. Tina was about 10, and then he permanently moved to Europe. It seemed like the crush transferred to my husband when Sean left. Sean hasn't been back to the States since he graduated high school, and no one really has contact with him, so she said that she can't call and ask him about it. I have to admit that I'm kind of curious and would have been interested in hearing what Sean had to say, but I'll rest assured knowing our involvement in the whole thing is over. But you can always know that you can be involved in more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OKstorytime. We'll be there for you.
Do it.
Oh my gosh, and there is a little bit left, but do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I think this woman just needs a lot of psychiatric help.
Yeah.
Like medical professionals to help her.
Oh man. So there's a little bit more. Someone pointed out that Tina is potentially dangerous and could hurt me or our children, and this really scared me. My husband is going to upgrade our alarm system and purchase more cameras. I don't work summers and will most likely be out on bed rest by the time I have to go back to work, so he wanted to ensure that the kids and I were safe when he's away from the house. I forgot to mention that we live about 5 hours away, so she would really have to go out of her way to show up here if she somehow found out where we live. So that's it, basically. This will most likely be my only update. I also want to point out for those that think my husband was intimate with her at some point to cause her erratic behavior, if that were the case, she would have loved to throw that in my face over and over. Plus, a guilty man would have tried to silence her a long time ago to keep me from finding out. You don't have to trust him, but I do. Thanks again for all the helpful input. I'm feeling a little more at ease and can't wait to see our closest friends and family at our shower. And that's the end of that story.
My mother-in-law dislikes me so much that she published a song about it.
Drop the SoundCloud.
It's a diss track. And this comes directly from the r/OKstorytime subreddit.
All right.
So my mother-in-law, 53 female, comes across as a flawless human. She's attractive, a professional singer, lives this unconventional hippie lifestyle that initially seemed appealing. She's constantly interacting with celebrities who take to her because she's very charming. She's married to a has-been drummer who was successful back in the day, but hasn't worked a stable job in 20 years. Despite him living on government handouts, she still uses his past to massively prop up her ego. Ego is the word I most associate with her. She is the biggest self-absorbed person I have ever met and has gone out of her way to cause me immense amounts of harm. By the way, this comes from False Reward 1135. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, my mother-in-law and I used to have a good relationship before I fell pregnant. Despite my reservations, I agreed to move into the flat above hers prior to having the baby. It made sense as we got discounted rent due to her friendship with the landlord, and we thought we'd receive help when the baby came along. Moving into this flat was a mistake. When I was 7 months pregnant, she began keeping a journal, a log of all the things I supposedly did that could be considered harmful. The list was not very long, but included not letting my partner have a say in how we decorated the flat, which is true. What 27-year-old woman wants anime figures, Pokemon toys, and hundreds of DVDs on display in a cramped living room? And my tone of voice was off on several minuscule occasions I couldn't even recall. I overlooked this because I was more concerned about preparing for the baby, as you should be.
Yeah.
But I felt incredibly uncomfortable around her. When the baby eventually came, she was nowhere to be seen. The visits upstairs stopped, and we rarely saw her. The help promised was obviously not going to happen. Given that she homeschooled her then 7-year-old daughter, I was not too bothered and didn't judge her for her lack of support. I ignored the warning signs that my mother-in-law was troublesome and first recognized this when my baby was 6 weeks old. Being a new parent is hard, and being neurodivergent, it was particularly challenging for me. My family had bought my partner and me tickets to the Harry Potter studio tour. Before accepting the tickets, we cleared it with mother-in-law so she could take the baby that morning. We were to leave at 7:30 a.m. and be back for 2 at the latest. I was so excited to have a few hours with my partner to feel like us again. I told my mother-in-law this when I was alone the day before and opened up about my struggles with adapting to life as a mother. She was very reassuring and said getting to know the baby would be her pleasure. At 8 o'clock that evening, I received a message saying that she would not have the baby, that it was unreasonable of us to expect her to have such an early start, and that the baby that age should be with her mother. Thank you for telling them the night before.
Yeah, what?
Her opinions might be valid, but she shouldn't have agreed and changed her mind at the last minute, leaving us no time to find an alternative sitter who didn't share these views. We tried to reason with her, but it was a definite no. I felt played. She claimed she didn't hear me say the things I did about not coping with the baby, which I know was a lie. We ended up taking the baby with us, and I cried all the way around the tour. Why? Is it just because she's having these struggles with the baby?
Maybe.
Oh, she's just...
It meant to say that the baby cried, but I kind of doubt it.
It says I cried.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, because you were having struggles with parenthood or something?
Yeah, maybe it was just stress of the situation and then having the baby with her.
Yeah.
Extra stress or something. I don't know.
Skip forward 7 months. My partner and I were awarded a government subsidized flat with 2 bedrooms. We'd been living in a 1-bed before this. The flat we were given was in a dangerous, dilapidated state with carpet spikes sticking out of the floor, and half the ceiling was caved in. Oh my gosh. It needed a lot of work before my little one, who was crawling then, moved in. My partner and I did not have the money to hire people and had no choice but to do the work ourselves. We were laying carpet and laminate, amongst other jobs, and only had 2 weeks to finish the work. My family were amazing and had the baby a lot during this time. My partner's family did not help. His uncle, the builder, taught us the skills we needed in an evening, but that was all the help we received. My mother-in-law had the baby twice the first week, but only for a few hours. We weren't making much progress. Then the second week came and she said she'd only have her from 2 o'clock onwards and only for an hour or so. She does not work and could have helped more. I challenged this and said it was only 2 or 3 more days as my family was doing the rest. She then said that it was affecting her daughter, who is the most selfish, entitled girl I've ever met, and that she would always come first, even over her granddaughter's safety. Girl, just keep them both safe.
Yeah.
Keep them both safe. I raised my voice at her and said, oh, F off with that. It's for 2 days. I'm not asking you to change your alternative lifestyle. She knew I was referring to her 11 a.m. wake-ups and late nights. She became very personal about my parenting, and I asked her to leave. Admittedly, I should not have sworn, but we were under so much pressure and we had no choice but to ask her. Anyhow, in response to this, at 10:30 that evening, whilst my baby was in bed, her horrible husband started smashing down our glass front door, trying to get to me.
What?
Police.
A break-in?
Police, ring, ring.
Oh my gosh.
We had to let him in to avoid a hefty bill if the glass broke. He started screaming, calling me names, asking who I thought I was, and making threats. I then threatened to call the police if he didn't leave. That evening, my partner received a message from his mom saying that she would support him in being a single parent and listed all the reasons he should leave me. He also received messages from other family members saying something similar. He needs to cut them off or limit contact in a big way because no, you should not be subjected to this behavior.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's like your safety is now involved there.
I went to my mom's and a few days later I had to drop the baby off to continue with renovations. Her partner took one look at me again on the shared lawn and started in front of his wife's 96-year-old grandmother. I ignored him and went to my flat with my partner. Mother-in-law followed. She apologized, saying her partner shouldn't have done what he did, but followed on with how I brought it on myself.
Ugh, girl.
That's a bad apology. We moved flats and things improved. My partner and I focused on our independent lives together. The in-laws were in the picture, but we put them on the back burner. But unfortunately, tragedy struck just after my daughter's first birthday.
Uh-oh.
I developed a neurological condition overnight, which causes me to have seizures throughout the day. It affects my mobility. I need crutches at time and have huge amounts of unexplained pain.
Oh my gosh.
And I had chronic fatigue due to the seizures and medications. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
These are just a few of the symptoms. My partner had to give up work to look after me. Given the situation, mother-in-law agreed to have the baby one afternoon a week to give me and my partner a break. This lasted a few weeks before she canceled most days because of other commitments she made for her daughter. She also used to have the baby one night a month so me and hubby could see friends. This support all stopped when she got a puppy. Girl can hardly take care of her daughter.
Yeah.
You don't need a puppy.
Oh my gosh.
Just take care of these children.
And then she's just going to be like, oh, you would never understand. Being a dog mom is so difficult.
It's so hard.
She's like a literal human mom. That's a bit more, I would say.
7 months we went without a break because she wasn't coping with the stress of having the dog. Why did you get the dog? You already have a kid. Take care of your kid.
This could have been so easily
Take care of your grandkid. What's going on? My family did what they could, but my mom developed her own health conditions during this time and is also a full-time carer for my severely special needs, double incontinent sister, so naturally support was limited. Yes, I was resentful that my daughter's needs were not being met. At the time, I couldn't meet them because of my health, and the person who could meet them best wouldn't because of a dog. I occasionally told my partner of my frustrations with his family, and we had more than a few arguments about them. So he's not even like on your side.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem. The fact that he's not even on your side.
Absolutely.
However, I tried not to let them steal my peace, and we got on with our lives to the best of our ability. Until my little one was taken to hospital, that is. My little one is severely asthmatic. She has been in and out of hospital for her breathing a lot since she was a baby. However, when she was 18 months old, she caught a chest infection. I booked her an emergency doctor's appointment because she really could not breathe. At the appointment, the doctor took one look at her and advised we go immediately to the A&E. I couldn't call my partner as it was his first official day of teacher's training, and if he did not attend that day and the next, he wouldn't be able to fully enroll in his course. My mom could not take me as she had my poorly autistic nephew from my other sister at hers, so my sister could work. I can't drive because of my seizures, and taxis don't really operate in my area because it's so rural and would have cost me over £100, which I literally did not have. So I called my mother-in-law. I explained that I needed a lift and the situation, to which she said, "No, I'm not taking you. I haven't slept," and hung up. It was so rude.
Oh my gosh.
If she couldn't take me, fair enough, but at least help me find a solution. But nothing, not even appropriate concern was offered. My mom left my nephew for me at home as my brother-in-law was going to leave work to go and collect him. He received disciplinary for this, and she took me to the hospital. It was worse than we expected. Little one was going to be staying overnight at the minimum. That night, my child crashed. A team came in at 2 a.m. and put her on further oxygen. She also had a canister in her hand so that emergency antibiotics could be administered. She was too young to understand and was scared. She constantly tried ripping her canister out and was asking for mommy, daddy, and my mom and her nan. The stress made my condition worse, and I was desperately trying to hide seizures from the staff. I begged my mother-in-law to come and support, as my mom had already been in for 12 hours and daddy couldn't come. I needed him to pursue his training, so I didn't tell him the full details of her crash because I knew he would throw his opportunity to teach to be with us. Mother-in-law refused, saying her child had a cold.
Ugh.
The thing is, pausing, because lots of thoughts.
Yeah, a lot just happened.
You know you can't rely on your mother-in-law. You've known kind of this whole time. I think we need to stop reaching out to mother-in-law and expecting her to do something different.
Yeah.
You know, like, she's more focused on her kid. Makes sense in a way. Obviously, she's terrible for like going back on her word every time after she says that she'd help out, not providing any of that help, being, you know, hostile.
Yeah.
But like, you know that.
Yeah. I know, like, it sucks that as a family member, she's still doing this. And like, this is literally her grandchild. But yeah, I agree. It's like,
don't expect a pencil to be a gold bar.
But I guess it depends too, because like for this, like when she asked to take them to the hospital, that was like a dire situation, and like no one else could.
Yeah,
right?
She had her mom living next door, her partner at home, and her brother and his wife living opposite. Someone could have stayed and looked after the daughter. I had no one. I was so upset after 7 months of no support, a refusal to take me to A&E, and now this. I ended up messaging her saying that she was an actress, that she may talk the love talk, but knows nothing about it and has shown none through her actions. I called her self-absorbed and said she should stop having opinions on my relationship and have a closer look at her own. My partner was furious at me for the message and nearly left me, but we were able to work it through. What is going on with your relationship?
Yeah.
My daughter was meant to start nursery 3 mornings a week the week after. Because of my health, this was vital for me to function and for my daughter to have a quality of life. Mother-in-law was meant to do 1 pickup a week. Yeah, why are we including her in anything?
Yeah.
After the argument, she pulled out of the lift, saying she will never give us regular help because she's scared of the abuse I would give her if she couldn't. I'm not like that. She went on to say she will not put herself out so I could have a break and that children should not be in nursery. I refused to have anything to do with her after this and was very reluctant to let my little one see her either. I became banned from all family events and taken off every family group chat. I eventually caved and let my daughter see her grandmother because my partner threatened to leave me. Dude.
What?
If your partner's threatened to leave you over his just terrible mother, maybe we ought to rethink this relationship.
Yeah, maybe we need to let him.
Also, why does he keep threatening to leave you?
Yeah. Like, you're just not doing anything wrong. They're putting all of the blame on you, saying that you're going to them when it seems like it's the other way around.
Yep. My partner grew up with her as a single mother and was very protective over her and did not believe any maliciousness had taken place. He now sees the truth. Oh, switch up.
Oh.
Okay. And we've never been stronger.
Okay.
However, he still has a relationship with his mom. After a few months, my mother-in-law made it on the news for a song she wrote about a particular situation. I can't give any more information to protect everyone's identity.
God, who is this famous woman?
She's some British lady.
What?
I wanted to see the success of the video, so went on YouTube where I found a song posted 3 days prior about me. In the song, she went on about how her son has pushed her away, how he's only staying with me to keep his baby safe, how I've ruined his dreams, how I take him for granted. He was my carer at the beginning and did do more around the house, and how this is not what she wants for him. I was so upset, and so was my partner. Everyone we mutually knew had seen the song. We asked her to take it down, but she wouldn't. It took my partner 3 weeks of arguments and a visit round to get the song down. But you can always visit our podcast if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
I just really want to know who this woman is, and I want to listen to this song.
And I want to know right now. Someone find it out. I bet you could find it out. Like British singer, 50s, wrote a song about her son or whatever.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a way to figure this out.
Married to an old drummer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Please.
That's your information, folks.
Oh boy. But yeah, this woman is wild. I wish so badly for her to be exposed.
Yes.
Good riddance. I'm glad that the partner is finally understanding, how toxic the mom is being. Yeah. He still has a relationship, but that's kind of understandable. It's hard to just go no contact all of a sudden. But still good that he knows to defend you now.
But there is a little bit left. So let's hit it. I later found out there was an alternative reason for my partner's visit. A 6-page letter of all the things we have put her and her partner through, and how much her partner is a disappointment to her, and how his passed away granddad would be ashamed of him. There was no consideration of our circumstances, only she and her imaginary problems existed. I was so angry, but it was for my partner to work it through with his mom. I was just relieved to have that song taken off. 5 months have passed since the letter, and nothing has changed. My partner now keeps his family at arm's length, but goes to family events I'm not welcome at. I know people on here will ask me why I stay with my partner who allows me to get treated like this. And at times I have wondered this myself. The conclusion I've come to is that on the day-to-day, me and my partner are very, very happy. He's a fantastic father, my best friend, and there is so much love and laughter in the house. In-laws aside, I feel very fortunate in life despite the illness. I don't know how to handle the in-laws moving forward and would love some advice on how to best handle the situation. And that is the end of that story.
Oh, man.